Okay, so we're moving into the second part of Section 504 of the Vocational Rehabilitation Act. And again, because it's a Civil Rights Act, the Office of Civil Rights enforces this. It provides technical assistance as well as investigates any compliance investigations and complaints of discrimination and handles litigation as well. So we did already talk about, how the categories of disability are defined or how disability is defined, and there is a difference. Again, IDEA being very specific with 13 categories, but Section 504 really looking at functional limitations, and IDEA provides special education. Section 504 provides access to education. That could be access to the special education, so the child could have an IEP and a Section 504, so it does get a little confusing. But generally, children with just Section 504 plans, or service agreement plans as we call them in Pennsylvania, are educated in the regular education classroom, as this slide shows here. So the overall responsibility, the state education oversees the provision of the IDEA regulations. And the Section 504 is the Office of Civil Rights, and the local education agency is really in charge of making sure those rights are complied with. So a Section 504 plan, unlike an IEP, which can be, I've seen many, 40, 50 pages long, is very brief. And it's really just making sure that those accommodations are listed so that the child can access his or her education. It's not detailed like the IEP. And again, just listing those modifications and related aids or services the child needs to access the general education curriculum. So program adaptations are made in the regular classroom, and again for children with various types of disabilities listed here. But again, they're accessing the general education curriculum. Related services can be provided as part of this program, and again, they're to meet the child's individual needs to access the general education curriculum. Examples would include any type of medication administration that has to be done in the school, any kind of dietary help or support, a service dog, any type of hearing or technology device needed, large print books, in-class technology, transportation, and paraprofessionals. Non-academic services. Under IDEA in Section 504, students with disabilities must be provided with equal opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities. So this is important too, that we make sure that we're providing access to counseling, recreational activities, athletics, health services, and special interest groups or clubs. So in sports, the child needs to be able to participate in sports. You can't prejudice against a child, in terms of the child's disability. And so, again, participation to the extent they can and what you need to do to allow access will be important. There are procedural safeguards built into this act, just like there are with IDEA. And so schools have to provide a set of procedural safeguards that parents can use when they believe their child may have been discriminated against. And so written notices need to go out, an opportunity to examine records. There can be an impartial hearing and a review procedure. In terms of discipline, school officials and teachers may discipline students with disabilities protected under Section 504 in the same way as children without disabilities are disciplined. And however, again, you have to understand any exceptions that might be noted. The discipline has to be non-discriminatory in nature. So there can't be unequal treatment for the child with a disability based solely on the disability. So you can't, again, discriminate against the child in your discipline procedures. There could be certainly a determination meeting, asking those relevant questions that are needed. Was the problem behavior the result of the school's failure, or was the behavior that led to the disciplinary sanction caused by a result of the child's disability? And it could be, for an example, a child with a mental illness or maybe substance abuse that's documented. And that concludes our last section on Section 504.